because the other one was RMTP double forward slash blah, blah. I don't know what, just scared the shit out of me there. All right. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. And then it will show the stuff.
It's coming.
There we go. I'm here. Learning more. Okay, top chat. No, I don't want to do top chat. Live chat. Okay. Hang on. There we go. Okay, there we go. Where do I type in? I'm here. Yay. Okay, so you see me? Oh, you see me? Okay, let's put a Y in front. Okay. No, then it's I just put you. Okay. I just put you. All right, there we go. Everybody's God, it's just populating like nuts. Okay, so I guess that's it. Let's see how it goes. Shall we? Let me see if they say anything. Yes, they say yes. Yes, I see you. Good. Yay! Woo-hoo! Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay. Bye, Paula. Paula was helping me set it up. All right, we'll get on it. Sorry, guys. I thought it was 7 o'clock my time, like an hour from now, but it was not. These time zone things, I mess them up pretty regularly, you know. So, what are we doing? Let's get some questions, shall we? We got beautiful Michelle Gray, who I adore so much. She's like another daughter to me.
I feel the same. I feel the same. I gotta tell you guys, Erik has been so hyped up today. He's been so excited, and I just gotta tell you really quick what he did, because he is doing so much lately. So this morning, my husband rides motorcycles. Okay, he rides a motorcycle, and he has helmets lined up, and they have these Bluetooth, to talk when you're on the bikes. Yeah. And this morning, like, everything shut off, and Erik made the Bluetooth things pop on and start talking. Okay, like totally crazy. And then about an hour later, I'm doing some emailing, and I'm just messaging a few people before I start my day. And I'm right in the middle of typing an email, and he switched my keyboard from English to Korean, like right in the middle.
Like, does that to my phone? He puts it in Spanish or Norwegian. Yeah, all the time.
And I'm like, you have to go in and change it. You have to go in and like, it's not like
I know.
You slip your finger. I'm like, Erik, I'm like, how do I switch that back?
Just like with Renuka, when he made her Siri, which her phone, you had to push it to get Siri. Yeah. And they were talking about sex in heaven or something. Said there's a sex addiction clinic 5 miles from your location. Siri said so. That's funny. All right. Well, do you want to get some questions, or you guys write this down? Michelle Gray, thehealingh.art.com. And please give a shout out to Paula Marino. She is working on our documentary. She's really helping with the YouTube stuff and many other things. And she's just a master. So everybody just give a shout out to, she is such a wonderful soul.
She is.
All right. So let's see. So many wonderful people. You know, I got a secret to tell you guys. When I print out orders for Elisa Scalar, of course they have to fill out a questionnaire and describe their problems and stuff, and some people are in such pain that I start crying. I just can't help it. It's just, how can this person be upright and typing on a keyboard? It's just, so many people have such loss. It just breaks my heart. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to help everybody so much.
And we're so glad for everybody to be here. Erik is just saying, we're starting to get ready for our questions. Erik wants to say hi to everybody. He's given out a lot of hugs and kisses. He also says, Mom, I love you so much.
I love you,
sending so much love to you too. And the other thing too is, when we're answering questions, and that's a really good point, because he's reminding that, we're going to go through as many questions as we can, but keep in mind that when a question's being answered, sometimes one person's question, the answer is coming for you too. So keep in mind of how it feels, even when it's
Right.
a loved one coming through, because there's a lot of loved ones here. And before
Yes.
we started,
Ooh.
I could feel them filing in on left and right. And I feel
Wow.
male, female, and guides. And so there's a lot of energy here. And the one thing I'll say is when you are asking a question too, it would be awesome to ask the direct question rather than an open-ended question like what's my message, because sometimes it can be really hard to work through that energy. It's easier to have a direct question so that Erik can focus right in with me.
Yes.
But other than that, just, I mean, enjoy yourselves. If everybody wants to take a deep breath, open up your heart, get ready to receive, and let's have a good time.
We are going to have a good time, and we're going to do this
We
on a
are.
regular basis, people. So,
Yes,
but
we
if you
are.
have a question, don't keep repeating it in the thread if you could, because it really just muddies it up so much, and it makes an old lady have a hard time sifting through it all. But also, if you want to get in touch with a loved one, I don't know if you're allowing that, Michelle, but if you are, please give the name, and we need
Yes,
your name
yes,
too, not just your YouTube handle.
yes, yes,
I think,
yes,
I
that
don't
would be
know.
helpful. That would
Kathy Cook, paranormal investigator, cool. Linda
what
Elliott
I
from
will
Houston.
say
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hmm?
with loved ones, what I will say is because I will bring in as much information as I can with Erik. Sometimes in certain situations, some detail is required to validate who it is, going through
Yes.
that process. But I will attempt everything with Erik, and if there's anything that doesn't come through, then we just roll with it. That's Erik and I just roll with it. That's what we
Well,
do.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one we have here is what was it? Oh yeah, Carrie Birdsley. I was wondering what my mission is, and as an Earth Angel, those are very rare, by the way, and usually they have very traumatic lives because they come in. They choose to come in with a very high vibration. Otherwise, they would not survive the life they put on their incarnation plate. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. So I'll repeat it again. It is Carrie Birdsley.
Mhm. So Erik says, "Hey, Carrie," and he's just saying that, first of all, he says, remember, so your life's mission can be very different from, some people think it's maybe like, what exactly am I doing? Am I doing something specific? And he says, you actually have a couple things that you do. But he says, one thing is being an earth angel, which you absolutely are, you're also a healer. And he says that there are relationships that are part of your mission in a soul contract. There's one with children, and there's also one with the elderly. And they may be some people in your family, and they could be people out in your community, because he says there's both in your contract. And he says, when you feel inspired to connect in either of these areas, as an earth angel, it's working through your heart, is what connects you to your soul mission. And he says the rest of it is up to you. So, where do you want to put that energy from your heart? Because that's what you can develop, and that's what you can create in this lifetime.
Interesting. I'll give you a little idea of what an Earth Angel is like. Usually, they feel kind of like they don't belong. Star seeds are like that too, from Pleiades or wherever other that are used to being on, from incarnating on other planets, um, or another specific constellation. I don't know. Earth angels also feel like they don't totally belong here, but they also feel really like lonely sometimes when there's no real obvious reason for them to feel lonely, because they have lots of friends and family and stuff, but they still get that weird loneliness. And also they've usually had, not, I guess not always, I don't know, a lot of trauma. So just if you fit that category, then you certainly may be one of the 8,543 humans on Earth. Can you believe that? And a
Yeah.
lot of them are guided to Atlantis Scalar because the guardian angel, they did a consult because the guardian angel wants them to know his or her name. And these big guardian angels, Veronica, Astrabel, that's a new one to me. Ariel, Arabelle, and then Erik is also a guardian angel for some
Yes.
people.
I'm getting a lot of Veronica and a lot of Ariel for people's guardian
Yes,
angels that are
yes.
coming to me. And I
Wow.
know they're all the same. I'm like, wow. Because, yeah, Erik just says, well, we are a big soul family. He goes, think of the channeling Erik family and all of us here
Yeah.
together. So there
That's
are a
crazy.
lot of similarities for all
Yeah.
of us. So we will find that.
And sometimes you'll have two people in the same family that have the same guardian angel. They go, wait a
Yes.
minute, how can we both? Yeah,
Yep.
because they tend to congregate together.
Yep. I
All
had
right,
somebody do
and
that last night. That's funny. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so and Erik is responsible. Oh, I can't remember for what project. Never mind. Maybe animal or something. I can't remember. All right, let's see. Let's another. That's from Carrie again. All I wish I could say hello and back to all of you guys. Oh, chasing wish. No, there was somebody, Mata, that wanted to know if her sister Grace is near her. Mata. I don't know if that's her handle or her name. If it's not, she can put it later if you can't pick up anything, Veronica. I mean, Michelle.
Veronica's here. Veronica's here.
Oh, hi, Veronica.
So I'm feeling that your sister Grace she had an illness, or she had something going on with her when she was living. She is, and actually what I'm seeing is I can see her sitting right directly beside you, and for some reason she's sitting with her knees tucked up, like her hands, like she's very what's the word that I want to use? She's really comfortable. She's like just kind of tucked up and sitting beside you. And she's doing this with her ears. Eric's showing me like I'm listening to you. I can
Oh,
hear you. I'm listening to you. So to know that when you speak to her, when you think of her, those thoughts are going directly to her. She wants you to know that. And there's also something about your hair she likes, or so you must have done something new with your hair, or you're contemplating it, because there's a pointing out of your hair there.
oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see. Hello from Toronto. We love you too. Nikki and Josh Garcia Stevens, how long will COVID last?
Ooh. Hmm. Well, Eric says, we're coming into, he says, a new phase of it, meaning more of an ending phase. He's shown me, and he says tonight, like he's shown me in the past, so he's showing this to me now as well. August, September, we're going to notice some changes in North America.
My
But he
husband's
also
calling.
says, I was like, is that Eric? He also says we're going to be doing this. He's showing like lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off. So we're going to have different countries around the world might have, I'm going to shut down, and then this country is going to open. So there might be a little of this going on. And he says, I hate to say it, not going to sugarcoat it all. This could go on for the rest of this year. So he just says, everybody hold on. He goes, we'll get through this. We are in the downslide of it, though.
Good. All right. I was wondering if my dog made it to heaven. She died in a horrible accident on the 9th of January, chasing wishes. So I don't know the dog's name or this person's name, but maybe the date helps. January 9th.
Well, I'm just going to tell you what I get right away is Eric is showing me. So did the dog dart? Or the dog was darting out of a fence or out a door? Because I can see the dog directly running really fast. And Eric is showing me the number 9. And he says the number 9 is specifically a number that we use for endings. And this being in the very beginning of the year, this dog was taking an exit point, but there was something physical that was going on with your dog. And you may not have had notice of it or had noticed it yet, but this was the dog's choice to take the exit point. Now, I know for us, it's hard to understand why would I have to go through that? Why would my dog have to be taken in that way? But I will tell you that this dog is coming back to you, and coming back to you as a dog, and coming back in a body that's going to be with you for a long time, for a long-term relationship.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. Well, did she suffer? Or he suffer?
No, Eric says it was very quick.
Okay.
He says
In
that
heaven, cheer he.
yes.
Yeah.
And he also shows that there's a ball. So there's a small kind of ball that I can see bouncing all over the place. So the dog's obviously playing and having a good time.
Oh, okay. Clarabelle. I recognize your name. I've been following this story for nearly 10 years. Me too. All right, let's see. All right. Also, I want to shout out to Jennifer Doran because she had a death in the family. So everybody said, y'all better be giving a shout out to Paula, though. I'm going to see if you didn't.
Yes.
All right. I would like to know. Wait. David Gonzalez. Erik, I had sleep paralysis and it's known that it is reptilian if you terrestrial visit. Is this true? So David Gonzalez, was that a reptilian pinning him or negative entity pinning him down, or I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. Plus, I didn't have time to pee, so you talk about this, and I will be right back.
Okay. So what Erik is showing me right now is it's actually he's calling this it's something of you being in an in-between state of you leaving your body. So I don't know if this being pinned down happened upon waking, because Erik's actually showing me in the middle of the night to the early morning hours. And he's saying that you're in the in-between stage. So your body, how to explain is we leave our body approximately 4 to 6 hours every night astrally. And we're always connected with our silver cord, but we travel through astral realms and our consciousness is constantly moving. So he's showing that you popped right into your body, but it's like your brain woke up and your consciousness was still in the body. And so what he is saying is this is you being in the astral realms. Now, the part where the reptilian part comes in is he says there is some communication with some reptilian energy that was and does sometimes happen in the astral realms, but he says it's not all bad. And so one thing that he's just saying, I don't know if you're having any continuous issues with this or this was something that was just an isolated incident, but Erik says that you are an astral traveler, that you do have the ability to astral travel fairly easy. So he says to meditate and continue to work with that, because you do have a reptilian being that does want to work with you or does want to be around you. And Erik says it's not it's a benevolent, it's not a negative energy. So I hope that helps there.
I know. Sailor. She
Hi,
loves
Sailor.
me. Oh, she wants to be a dog scarf for me. No, baby. All right. All right. That's interesting. Somebody told me that reptilians are not necessarily a bad thing. They really are here in part to help us face our fears or something like that. I don't know if I misunderstood that, but all right, here we go. I would like to know why my childhood best friend named Crystal didn't want to speak with me. Well, that's rude. Thank you for letting me pee.
It's a have to kind of thing, Erik says.
Yeah, I know.
Necessity.
I know. I didn't have time. I rushed. Oh my God, it's on now. Okay. Sorry about that. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so childhood best friend, and the best friend's name is Crystal?
Crystal. And this person is, oh no, it's Christina Bailey. Okay. Her, the person that's asking this question is Christina Bailey. Her best friend, or her, best friend is named Crystal. Some best friend.
Well, Erik is saying that there's some changes that have occurred. And so, because he's talking about and he says, we think of everything on an energetic level. And when people change or they go through transitions, sometimes that energy starts to do this and starts to separate. And so what he's saying is there were situations that came up that created some kind of a divide between the two of you. And he says it's not really one thing. He says sometimes people drift apart and they become preoccupied in other directions. And sometimes they just have, he says, indifference within them. And he's also saying that there's some projection there. So there might be a little bit of blame that's coming from the best friend to you. Doesn't mean that you need to accept that blame. But Erik says, better yet, look at the situation and look at the actual relationship. He says, go in and look at exactly, were you in the relationship because of the longevity, because of the loyalty, or were there actual changes in there? Because he says, really look to yourself and how you feel and see if the relationship was really giving you what it is that you truly deserve.
Well, was Erik, I mean, Was there a spiritual contract that just okay, it's done. We've completed. We've honored our spiritual contract together. Could it be that or
Well,
not?
he said that sometimes we have relationships that are can go either way, because he
Yeah,
says it has to do with the choice of each individual
yeah.
and what they choose to do with their own path. So sometimes he says we can ride along beside each other in some relationships and we end up staying that way our whole life. And then sometimes this other person decides to make some decisions in their life and it starts to veer them off energetically in the other
Okay.
direction. And he says this is kind of what's happened in this scenario.
Well,
So he's
what should Christina do? I mean, maybe if Christina thinks, oh my God, I missed that friendship, should she reach out and or something, call or
He said the best thing to do in this situation is to, he says, really look at what it is that you like, examine the relationship, he said, yourself. He goes, really examine it, because I get the feeling that there might be something that comes up. Because he said there'll be some realizations that you'll have in the relationship. But he says, write a letter to her from yourself, and don't send it yet, but just get out your feelings, because he
oh,
says there's some information that you're going to get from working through it. And he says,
okay.
and that will give you the definite if you should reach out or not.
Okay. Okay. From Tracy Feezer. Does my dad, Dino Stone, have anything to say to me? I love that first name. That's so cool.
That
Dino.
is a nice name.
That is cool. Some real manly man, that name.
He's talking about a car, riding around in a car. Um, he's pointing out getting a car repair. Um, I'm being pointed to your oil in your car, like check under your hood, check in your oil. I don't know if he had something to do with cars or he had a desire to cars or something, because he's actually physically showing me a car and like you looking at this car. Um, he's also showing feathers. Look for feathers that are in your pathway. Also look for them in strange places, because there's this sense of real mysticism with your dad. Like he enjoys making your mind work, making you try to figure something out. So you'll see a feather or see something in a very odd place, because he's around you quite a bit doing some of these weird kind of signs, is the best way I can say it. And
Hmm.
I also have to say, I feel, I don't know if he was a shorter man, because I feel a shorter man with a very big energy is what I'm getting here.
Hmm. That's cool. Sounds like it. All right. These are the ones that really make me tear up when I read descriptions from Aqua Puff. And I don't know what your name is, Aqua Puff. I am on the verge of giving up, Erik. What do I need to know or do? Are you with me when I say your name and calling you?
Hmm.
Don't give up.
No, he says, I've been there. He says, I understand. I understand how you feel.
Me
And he
too.
says,
I know.
yeah, he says it's not easy. He goes, this human thing, it's not easy. And he says, but the thing is you are equipped with the tools inside of you to help you get through this. And he says, am I there with you? I am there with you. He goes, sometimes I'm there with you before you even call my name. And he says, you've always been a little bit different. And he goes, a lot of us have been, but he says, you've had a past and a story that is not easy. And so he says, be forgiving of yourself. He says, be compassionate with yourself, because he says sometimes these memories come up and you try to push past them. And he says you really need to honor some of what you're feeling inside, honor some of the situations that weren't your fault. He says there are things that have happened that really weren't your fault. And he's looking back to when you were younger as well.
Can we help her, Erik? Is there anything we can do with scalar energy work? I mean, anything to help her?
He says that scalar energy work would help. He says the empath protection
Yeah.
would be really helpful. He says that you could really use some grounding and some balance with your energy. I'm also getting your higher self. I can feel here as well. And your higher self is very close with you. You're being, and you may feel this, that you get these moments of feeling like you're being pushed forward, even though you feel inside like you really do just want to give up. Like there's not another moment you can take, and your higher self keeps pushing you forward. And Erik says, you're here for a reason. And he says, every day that you wake up and you take a breath, he says, you're here for a reason.
Do
And
we
he
know her
says,
guardian? I'm sorry.
oh, he just
Know
says,
her guardian angel name?
oh, the guardian angel's name,
Yeah.
Alice.
Alice. Okay.
Alice. Um, Erik says, we love you for showing up every day. He says, love yourself for showing up every day. Keep
That's so
going
sweet.
forward, even if it's one step, one foot after another, one toe after another. Erik is also, he's going to show up in your dreams, or he's been showing up in your dreams, but you're not going to see him as Erik. He says, you'll see him as an animal, or as he says, as a symbol. And I'm just asking him, why is that? Why would she not see you as Erik? And he says, sometimes when you have this real desire to see somebody in spirit, it can create like not really a block, but it's kind of like an energy block. But he says, we go for the path of least resistance. And so he just wants you to know that he is there. And so you will get messages through your dreams from him. So really pay attention to those. And he said, write those things down, because they're giving you messages that you can link together.
Okay. For some reason, the live chat line just it just like shifted. I don't know what's going on. Okay, but I have to just go to the top, I guess. Estrella
All the spirit
Olivar.
energy.
Erik, what is going on with my health?
With the health.
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 Yeah. Estrella Olivar.
Well, there must be a couple things going on, because Erik has brought me to inflammation, headaches, and there's something in the digestive system as well. Erik says, look to health-wise. He says, look to a diet that would be more for your blood type, if you know your blood type. He also says to watch sugar. And he says, trust. He says, there's some blockages in your solar plexus area for trust, in trusting. And so he says, first look to trust in yourself, to trust in what you believe yourself.
Would energy healing help
Yes.
at all? I mean, I know you do energy healing. Is that something you do, is undo those blockages in our solar plexus?
Yes. He says that specifically it would help you to be able to go to some of the root causes of the issue.
Michelle, yeah, hook up with Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she can really help you.
Mm-hmm.
And does she have inflammation going on? You said would LDN,
Yes.
those naltrexone help? Because it normalizes the immune system, and
Yes, it would help. But Erik says it has to be a combination of the inner work with it. He says, he also says, there's some, she's getting some dizziness as well, because there's some imbalance in the energy completely. So having some energy work would really help you. But remember that it's that with the inner work that it's going to create a difference.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Let's see. Tammy W. Is my best friend Annette in heaven now, finally at peace. I miss her every day.
Erik says yes, and she's eating ice cream. She's eating all kinds of ice cream, every flavor that you can imagine, without guilt.
Oh.
Without guilt. She shows you butterflies, a lot of butterflies. If you see butterflies, they don't have to be live butterflies either. They could be butterfly stickers. They could be butterflies on a book. Look for butterflies. And
Aw,
especially after today, after us saying this, look for butterflies.
okay. It's her mission now. Oh, one more thing I want to ask about Estrella. Eric told me that I can do like a complete hormone balancing scalar work that he can give me the very quiet UPS. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what to do. We have construction going on outside, so I can't let them out. But anyway,
Life.
a
That's
hormone
life.
balancing and all that stuff. He's got to give me the script and the frequencies for that. Would that help her at all, or not?
Yeah, and it would do some help if she needs to have a little bit of energy work first.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna be able to do that for a long time anyway.
Yeah.
But if you email me at elisa@atlantascalar.com and just put just an email of any sort, it'll put you on the list to broadcast email my call out for volunteers for doing it free. So anyway, just do that, guys, if you want to do some of the free stuff that's coming up. Okay, Matea Lisa Kinney is working on a portrait for us, and she said that Eric hangs out there with our son. Oh, Connor. She did a wonderful photograph of Eric, and I this on the wall, but using this, and I swear to God, it looks better than the photograph.
Is that Matea, blonde-haired Matea?
I thought she had dark hair, but I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
Wow. All right. So yeah, is he hanging out with Connor? Eric hangs out with Connor.
Eric says yes.
Oh,
Yes, he's like doing this. Yep.
well, I hope he's a good influence. Okay, Connie Taylor, when will the new financial system be activated? Is there going to be one?
Eric says that it's not going to be like one thing. He says so it's not like pressing a button. It's going to happen in one day. He says this is going to happen over years,
Okay.
not all at once.
Is it going to be all good?
Oh yeah, he says it will all be good in the end, but he says not everybody's going to be jumping for joy with each step because it's going to bring up things for people because there's changes in our governments around the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
With he says think of each system: education, political, commercial. He says every system is making a shift. And
Yeah.
so he says every system is going to affect another. It's like a domino effect. So he says this is going to take, and in another 10 years, we're going to see things looking very different. But this is happening now. It's all happening now in each stage.
Okay. So what's going to happen with this, the immigrants streaming in? Unaccompanied minors, fentanyl. They've already had terrorists identified that's coming in. Just what's going to happen? They're just flooding through. Some with COVID, most with not without COVID. Are they going to do something about that? We can't
Yeah.
have 15 million people taking jobs away from. I mean, right after we have lost, I don't know how many jobs to COVID from the people who are U.S. citizens or green card holders or whatever.
Eric says, sometimes things happen to create stirs in the world. And he says, and this is, what's happening. It's not good on many different fronts for a lot of people. And he says, so it's really not one side to the other. And he's not saying exactly what the events are that are going to take place, but he says there are going to be events take place that are going to create a demand for change. And so,
You think, I feel sorry for the people who are drawn here, and pay coyotes and some of them get raped on the way here. I mean, little kids that going alone. I mean, I just for their sake, it's just awful. It seems like we should maybe help the countries that are struggling to support their citizenry, and those citizens should stay and make their own country better.
Well, and he says, and there are reasons why all of this is happening because he says that the changes in government have a lot more to do with unity. And he says, so sometimes things happen to create those ideas to be able to come together and help other countries, because this is no
Yeah.
longer about we have all the power and you
No, we need
suffer
to
over
help other
there.
countries
Yeah.
because we're all part of the same collective. I mean, if we have the money to do it, of course. But I saw the president of El Salvador talking and said this has been awful for them because they're losing people and therefore their tax base, and they need those people to stay and help, make their country a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, is it a plan? Is it was this meant to happen? Is this a plan? Is it an actual? Let's make sure 13 million people come into the United States. Is that what they want, or is it? Oops, I didn't. Unintended consequences. Is it that?
He says it's more like the result of a chain of events, of decisions.
Was it? Okay. All right. Onward and upward. Leslie Pettis. My soulmate's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday. He crossed over 19 years ago, and I want him to know that I love him and miss him. I wish I had a name, but Leslie Perez. Perez. I'm sorry, my father's from Spain. Yeah.
And I just I was just shown sitting on a star, so I can see dangling legs sitting on a star with a birthday cake, holding a birthday cake. And even though I don't have the name, I've got to tell you, so it feels male energy. I'm getting I can hear you. I'm with you. And I'm also being shown a bicycle or riding bikes and a beach, some like a sidewalk or something along water. So maybe there's some memories of doing that. Let's see what
Maybe that's what he's doing now. Who knows?
Memories. I'm getting memories. So there must be memories of time together, because
Oh,
I'm getting fond memories. I have fond memories of you. And when you think of the memories that we have together, I'm there with you.
yeah. He's triggering the memories, probably, huh?
Oh,
Okay.
cycling in the memories, Erik says. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, I did the new age reversal energy work on me. I need it, and some other people, volunteers and stuff. And it's supposed to rejuvenate all organ systems. I don't know if it works. I don't know, but I feel younger, and I feel like I look younger. Physical appearance, biochemistry, physiology, bodily function, mental function, and organ rejuvenation. So stay tuned for that one.
It's
All right,
true.
now I'm
It's
going
true.
to check my blood pressure. See if because old age stuff like high cholesterol, hypertension. I'm going to see how it affects that.
Oh,
So
definitely. I gotta say, Elisa, and like everybody in the chat, please write this, because I know I've heard it from many people. Since you started doing your scalar work, there has been a significant change in your skin, in
oh,
your glow,
oh,
in everything. I
I
truly mean
love.
this. Like, it's very noticeable, and other people have said it to me
Oh,
too.
really?
Yes,
I mean, I love
yes,
what I'm doing. It's
yes,
I love to help people, and that's why I cry when I hear
yeah,
people are hurting, and I don't know if I can help them. And sometimes they don't have the money, so of course I have to do it for free. But some of these things they take 10 hours per person,
yeah.
so
But
it's
it's
really
the fulfillment. It's the fulfillment from your
yeah.
heart, and also the because Erik is just saying, when we do things from our heart, and this work is your work with Erik, and
Yeah.
it's a special mission, and it's fulfilling, but it's also, I mean, you think of what we understand about scalar energy as well,
Yeah.
and um you're proof in the pudding of what working from the heart does.
No, I just love. Well, I love. It's what's a mom's best thing to do is helping her child become happy and productive and fulfilled. So that's a big component of it.
Yeah.
All right. Will Boris Johnson stay as UK Prime Minister until 2024's next election? He seems to channel. This is interesting. Churchill type energy. I couldn't agree more. It just hit me. You're totally right.
Erik says yes. Erik says yes. that looks to be what's about to happen. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
All right. Is he Churchill reincarnated?
Yes, he actually says there is he
A
says
part of it? Part
not
of
like a full incarnation, but
it? Yeah.
he says there is influence is the way he's explaining it. There is that influence. Part of his guides, part of his guide, one of his guides.
Oh, cool.
Mm.
No wonder. Do people plan on becoming enlightened when they incarnate, or does it happen spontaneously? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Very good.
These are awesome,
Marty
awesome questions.
Pants. I know I love all these guys.
Yeah, me too.
Send over your adoption
Eric's like,
papers.
Eric's like, I love you all. I love all you guys. Like, you guys are awesome.
Oh, we'll just adopt them as all our brothers and all your new brothers and sisters. Eric, what do you think? Think it's
Done.
over to me?
Done. Signed. Stamped. Delivered.
There will be chores involved, though. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, Eric says this is a really good question because he says, think of it this way. He says, all of us are being enlightened to a degree. When we incarnate on the earth, the idea is in all of our soul contracts that we're coming here to, says, we're coming here to learn. We're coming here for our specific purpose. And whatever we go through has the opportunity for us to learn and grow. And he says, so that is a form of enlightenment. He says, now this also brings up the question of what is the description of enlightenment? So what exactly are we considering as enlightenment? Because enlightenment for one may not be what it is for others. So he says, rather than using the label enlightenment, he goes, why don't we switch that to, is the soul going to, do all souls come here to advance themselves? And he goes, and that would be a yes, because there's never a failure when it comes to incarnation. He says there is never a bad incarnation. And he says, in as much as you might believe that this means, well, what about people that come here and they do things that we consider are really awful? He goes, the soul is still learning. The soul is still creating
or teaching, or being a relationship.
Yes.
To provide the polarity, the contrast to help the other person, the victim, grow.
Exactly. So he says, now there are some souls that come here that are specifically coming that, come in and have a position where they are a very big teaching energy or a very big leadership energy, where they do have a path that is much deeper than maybe others. But he says, but there's no comparison to this soul and that soul, because the growth and advancement means just as much, no matter what the purpose was in the life. It means just
right. Watch the Hitler interview. That was I had a hard time. With that one, but just watch the Hitler interview on YouTube, and it will explain all that. And everybody should really watch the narrated version of the conversation. Donald Walsh, whatever. Neil Donald Walsh or something like that. A conversation with God. He wrote a children's book, The Little Soul and the Sun, S-U-N. And just type that in and put narration or narrated, I can't remember, and listen to it, because it explains so much about life. And it will help you understand so many of the relationships you're in right now. So do that. That's your homework assignment.
Yes.
There'd be chores, but there's also homework. All right, let's see. Family's everything. Can Eric tell my mom happy birthday in heaven? She knows now. You just told her.
Oh, you bet. And there is a great big smile that I'm seeing, and some really pretty earrings that I'm also seeing as well.
Oh.
So there's either some beautiful earrings that she cherished, or that have been handed down the family or been given, because there's just some very delicate, beautiful earrings that I see.
That's so cool. Look what my sister Terry gave me from Topanga. Look at this.
Cool.
Look at this really cool. I love the actual
chain too.
Cool chain. Yeah. But this thing right here, that's Sailor right there. Sailor. I get all sorts of. All right. So no, I don't have cancer, melanoma, whatever. Elizabeth Richter. I remember you. Am I allowed to do healings on animals? Pets.
Erik says, well, why wouldn't you be? Of course you are. He
Sure.
said,
Does
you're
she
an
have
communicator.
healing energy? Awesome healing energy for animals?
Yes. Yes. You can also do healing on yourself, Erik says, and healing on other people. He says, um, put some trust, like trust yourself because it's all there. It's all within you. And he says, this year has a lot of opportunity for expansion for you. So he says to play with it, to play with the energy. And he says, let go of what the mind wants to take you through a step 1, step 2, step 3. He says, let go of that. He says, go with it
Yeah.
organically and just feel. And he goes, you'll also notice that the animals are going to speak back to you. And he says, no, they might not talk like you think in your head, but they're going to speak impressions to you and give you ideas. And he says, so really pay attention to that and go with it. He says, have fun with it. But yes, you are a healer.
Does she need anything like to help her communicate with animals? Like I did some on this animal communicator. Like I can't remember what I did. We did. I shouldn't say I because I have a very minor role in it. But like decalcifying the pineal, opening the crown chakra, and opening up the third eye. Would that help her communicate? The scalar energy?
He said a little more because he said the pineal gland. There's some work that could be done there that would help. He says that her crown is actually quite open.
Ah,
So, but the pineal gland, he says a little bit can be done there, and he also says in the solar plexus and a little bit in the heart chakra. Some
okay.
work
Well,
in there.
energy healing could probably do some of that too. So,
Mhm.
look that up and just Google online if there are ways to. I mean, I can do it with scalar energy, but maybe there's other ways you can do it. Just look online and see what you can do. All right, let's see. Alfred Oyukwu. I'm sorry if I botched your name. What is it that my guides want me to know about building my spiritual capabilities?
Mm. So Alfred, the first thing he just said, he says hello to you, and then he says, you've got a couple guides that are working with you. One is a Palladian guide. He says
Wow.
that you have the ability to channel, and he says you're a conscious channel, and you're also like a physical channel or a trance channel. You can bring them into your body. Um,
Whoa.
he says to allow yourself, because right now your mind is really trying to, like, it's like there's this need to succeed, like there's this need to be successful. And he says it would really help you to relax a little bit. He goes, actually just sit and spend time in your heart space. He says really just sit and feel what your definition of love is, whatever brings you to that place. He says allow yourself to sit in that energy. He says that's also called sitting in the power. And
Oh.
when you sit in the power, he says you're allowing that energy of love to fill up your entire being. When you do that, you start to sidestep the mind. And he says, and this is good for everybody to listen to, because
Mm.
you start to sidestep the mind, and then you start to get into this more of an organic feeling from the heart. And your guides will be able to better communicate with you, or rather, you'll be able to hear them better, feel them better. And he also says that because you're physical, ask your guides to move around in your body and around you. Ask them to work with you in moving the physical, like the shoulders, touch the face, touch the head. He says, start to feel some of that. And he says, part of that is to allow you to be present with yourself and to be
Oh.
present with the body. So he says, work there in those areas. And he says, and the structure, because he says you like some structure. So the structure would just be to commit to doing that each day. Just give yourself that discipline of doing it each day, and know that as you continue to do that, all is well. And it will, universal law, he says, what you put in has to come out. So when you commit to doing that, it will work.
Oh, that's great. Now, Eric loves getting into people's bodies. I remember Robert, now that COVID happened, I haven't seen him at all for so long. But we had him over every Friday because he was alone. Now he has a boyfriend, so it's awesome. But one night we came home from a restaurant, and he just said, "I'm so tired, I gotta lay down." And so, oh yeah, go ahead. The black couch is over there. They're comfortable. He laid down. Then we were outside with the rest of the people, and he came out there, arms like this, and I've never seen him do that. And he stared at me, and I thought, "Oh my God, is he? What? He looks angry. I mean, he's just staring at me." And so he said, "Don't you know who I am?" And I go, "Oh my God, you're Erik." And then I hugged him, and then whoosh, there's Robert again. Where am I? What's going on? So Erik is kind of a really, and Erik used to cross his arm all the time.
Yeah.
So, he's kind of an easy person to practice on, maybe because he has such a recognizable energy to most people, really strong, angelic, almost archangel, soon to be,
Yes.
energy,
Yeah.
and rascally, and it's just a very, very specific energy signature. So,
He
practice.
really does. He really does, guys. And like, and I'll tell you, because Elisa and I were talking about this the other day before we were filming, is that I've been working with Erik, and even tonight before we start, it's like a merge that he does, and you start to feel him merge in your energy. And the first thing I feel when he's merging is my lips start to go numb before I
Wow.
channel. So this part of my mouth starts to get all numb, and it's like his mouth is right there. And so when I'm talking, and that's why you'll notice I close my eyes a lot when I'm channeling, I'm still totally present and I'm hearing everything, but it's just you kind of go to another place. And Erik has told me that that's kind of like that step in between, because
Oh,
he was I said to Elisa one night that he I was practicing with him one time, and for the first time this ever happened to me, he started to merge with me, and then all of a sudden I popped down into the corner of my head, and I looked up. My eyes were closed, it was all black, and I looked up, and my eye sockets were up here, and my
that's so
mouth was,
creepy.
and I was like so small, and it was the weirdest experience. And I was telling Elisa it was so weird that all of a sudden I was like, "Oh my God, Erik, that's so weird." And I popped right back up and
Of
opened my
course.
eyes. Yeah, but so we're working on that. But so
Well,
yeah,
you gotta be careful
try
if
that.
you're a girl, though, because he will
Yeah.
mess with you like Jamie. It's like, oh God, his hair all over the way. Where I need a scrunch here, and he just put it and just watch her hair totally. Or he would go like, "Oh wow, this is so cool," and then she really got pissed at him. She was not happy. He really didn't cross the boundaries. And then the next time she transferred, I said, "Well, I've been told I can't do anything here." So, but she never said anything about here. But he didn't do anything. So you got to watch out. He's kind of a rascal with
Okay, that's true. Erik and I will have to have a little talk.
flirty. And she always says, "You can get into my body, but you need to make my body a better place before you leave." To all anybody
Yes,
she mentions, I think it's a good idea.
yes, it is a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yolanda Cisneros. Hi, Erik. We're moving soon. Will it be okay?
Oh, he says, yes, he says, this is a really good move. He says, do you feel some excitement about this? He goes, sometimes your excitement can feel a little bit like, oh, a little apprehension. Is this going to be okay? Is this going to go right? Or is this going to go right? And he says, you know, here's my best advice for you is he says, it's going to be okay and it's going to go right. He goes, be optimistic about it, because he says, you're creating a brand new start here. So he says, be excited about it. And he says, there might be something that you're waiting for or something that you're concerned about specifically to happen. And he says it'll be fine. He keeps saying it. Everything will be smooth. Everything will be just fine.
Well, that's awesome. All right. Char Fisher, please. This is another one that makes me very sad. Please help me figure out how to feel like a whole person again.
What's the first name again?
Char or Char, Char Fisher. You are a whole person. It's a matter of how do we get her to realize that, or him. I don't know if it's a female or male name. I'm so sorry.
Erik says the things that were done to you. Um, he's talking about blame. He says that there's some blame that you have on yourself and there's some shame that you're carrying. And he says to let go of that. And he says, I know that we say that and we say, let go of that. And what we hear most commonly is, well, how do I let go of that? And he says,
So hard.
and it is hard. And he says, but be willing when these feelings come up. Be willing when that desperate feeling comes up. He says, don't try to make it go away. He says, sit with it, because I promise you, if you
Yeah.
sit with it, it will pass. If you sit with it and love it, he goes, love yourself through it.
Oh,
That means
yeah.
hold yourself through it. Hold a thought or a memory that feels good, and then be okay with facing what has happened. Be okay with looking at the people that have hurt you, and be okay with whatever you feel that you have done. Because remember, he says, everybody does what they know to do in the time that they do it. He says, and we learn. This is the process. We learn better, we understand different. And he says, so it's okay, and it's okay to be able to let go of that. He says this is all about a new beginning for you. So you'll find that a lot of these harder feelings are coming up right now, and they're coming up because this is a new start. And he says, and the deeper and harder we feel means the bigger the corner that we're about to turn. So he says,
Yeah.
be okay with being with yourself. Give yourself as much comfort as possible. And he says, this will pass. This absolutely will
Well, is this a little soul in the sun thing where people have hurt her, but they've done so benevolently in love to help her grow? And then maybe she should look at, he or she, sorry, should look at, like I did with my parents and the abusive childhood I had. I found out that, wow, I got so much out of it, so many awesome things. I know I didn't think
yes.
that as a kid, but I became more. I learned how to become assertive, respectfully, assertive, and I learned how to be nurturing and more compassionate, and it made me probably a better mother. And I knew that if I had not had that experience, there was a big risk that I would have grown up to be a shallow, selfish bore. So then I said, "Oh my God, a valuable lesson. I'm so grateful." And now I can say thank you and let it go. And so that really does help a lot to just try to find the kernel of value in all the hardships you have. So just put my
He says yes, and he says to watch that video. He says that my mom said about the little soul in the sun. He says, do watch that because that'll help you. And he's actually asking for something else from all of you right now, because he says there's a lot of people in our group right now, this one, the one before, and there's some others as well that are really hurting tonight, that are
mm,
really sad, and they're in a lot of pain. He says, could we all together, he says, go into our heart and blast some of that heart energy. He says that sparkly heart energy that comes from the inside of all of us. And could we all blast that out into the center of our group? Because he says we're all joined like a big circle tonight with all of our loved ones, our angels, and our guides. And he says there's so much power in all of the love from all of us. And he says,
yeah.
and if we could just blast that love out, it'll reach each one of us. And he says, and as we do that, he says, those of you that can really feel energy right now are going to feel this blast right now, because Erik's helping blast it all out. So he says, if you can feel energy, you're likely feeling a little bit of tickling on your head or some warmth in your heart right now. But he says this is a little love to help each and every one of you.
Wow. I don't know how to follow that. I think it's a good. Hey, Jim, by the way, that's a good place to stop. I know it's way past 7, but I wanted to go over a little bit because 7 Central Time, because we started late because of me. Sorry. Anyway, so thank you so much, y'all. Little Soul in the Sun, you guys. Shout out to Paula Marino, and we're going to try to raise money so we can pay her animator to create the scenes, not cartoony scenes, but the scenes that Erik is not here to reenact in the big documentary coming up. It's going to be. She stayed for the entire month of October with she filming and all that stuff. So and she's gonna come back as soon as she can because she's in Montreal and can't, or someplace. Yeah, Montreal.
Toronto.
So anyway, shout out to her, and y'all go check out, of course, Michelle Gray at the healing h dot. I mean, why do I say that? The healing h-art.com. She's a healer. Obviously, she's an amazing medium. So check it out. And she heals a lot with art. So that's really cool.
Yes. Yes. Thank you guys. Sending love
Yeah,
to
I
you,
love
Elisa.
And
All of you.
Eric,
I love you.
I love you, Eric. I love you, all of you people. And please stop making me cry.
Erik says he loves you, Mama, and Erik loves each and every one of you. And Erik can split himself off infinitely, and
Yes.
he's with each and every one of you right now.
Yeah.
So give him a great big hug. He's hugging you.
Thank you for saying that. That's awesome. All right, bye guys.
Okay. Mwah. Bye everybody.